I wasn't doing it because, like a lot of us, I had so many responsibilities. It was just too much. It was getting overwhelming. I had to figure out, okay, what can I do that, like, what's staying and what has to go. I had to make a decision, and so for like the last few weeks, at first it was like, okay, well, I'm not getting up Wednesday morning to do this workout. I don't feel like it. Not that I don't feel like it, but like I'm not a morning workout person. So me getting up early at 6 a.m. to work out, and I'll say, like, I had a couple people joining, if that. So I was like, I'm going to sleep. I'll go to sleep. I can pull something else. I could do something else. I'll work out later. That's not a big deal. But I was like, I can't get up at 6 a.m. But the Sundays I liked this thing. And then it turned into both parents were having their own health stuff. So I'm just driving. I'm driving all over the place. Then I was tired. So Sunday would come and I'm like, I'm tired. I just can't get up. And then I was like, I need to go to church. So let me just sleep in. And then so that way I can go to church. I had to pick something. And then here we are. And then 3 weeks later, if any of you saw, I decided to run a 40-yard dash, because that makes sense when you're 45 and you're like hanging out, on turf against your 52-year-old husband. That made a lot of sense. So I got hurt. So yes, your injury prevention specialist actually got hurt doing stuff she tells you all not to do. So I was stretching in line. So actually, as I'm talking, just do these gentle neck rolls. Just nice and easy. Rotate the neck, look side to side. So I was in line. I was at the Super Bowl. It was a blast. And they had all these fun events. And I walked in and felt like I was a 20-year-old track athlete again. And I said, I can do that. I work out. I can do it. Knowing I don't, because I don't sprint. I don't run. And at this point in my life, I know better. But I did it anyways, because like, when else are you going to run a 40? Yeah. So like 2 weeks later, my back went, because I went to the gym and was doing some other stuff. And my body said, absolutely not. We ain't having any of that. And so then I had to sit down. So key point number 1. The importance of mobility, because I really felt, now I want you doing some big, and I'm on my knees just so you can see me. I'm on 2 different screens, but you can do this standing up or sitting down. Okay. Big shoulder rolls. So yeah, you can stand up, you can sit down. I'm only doing this so you can see me in the screen, but I want some backwards shoulder rolls, nice and easy. It's the morning. I saw New Jersey, so welcome. So yeah, so the importance of mobility. So I know, like, when I was doing this on a regular, live on my own, whatever you want to call it, but this weekly dedicated mobility and stretch breathing, my joints felt amazing. Like, they felt awesome. They still feel pretty decent, but they felt good. So like, I wasn't getting any type of, and then come forward if you haven't switched. I wasn't really getting any issues with like feeling tight or feeling like I pulled something or any of that type of stuff. Like I said, the situation wasn't the best situation. And then I took a break. I actually came home and I took a break. And then I went to like spin class and did like a spin and this really heavy yoga class, thinking I was going to stretch, and my body said the opposite. So that was last week. And so I'm still like, let's go. So here we are again. So we are staying down. So if you haven't made it to the ground, come to the ground. I'm going to have you hands down. I'm going to fix this camera. I'm going to get this together once and for all. All righty. So we're going to be in this hands and knees position, okay? We're going to start with some thoracic rotations and then go into the hips. So we're down like this. I want your hand, this is my left hand on the back of my head, and I'm just gently rotating open. Like I said, I'm going to be not as big, as wide, as mobile as I normally am, because I really do need to be mindful of what's going on in my back. Talking point number 2, you got to listen to your body. I know I say these things. I say a lot of these things, but I say them because I go through them too. Like, none of us are invincible. None of us are void of anything. Sometimes accidents happen and life happens. So Anytime you're getting back into something, and sometimes it's not your fault why you had to take a break, you really do want to take it easy as you get back into it, right? So, like for me, I'm not gonna stop doing what I did. Like I worked out a few days. I've been working out a few days this week, but I also said, okay, we're not going crazy when you get on the bike. We're not doing 2 classes in a row. We're gonna leave the gym, and then we're gonna stretch, foam roll, do whatever you gotta do when you get home. Drink a lot of water, and so like this rotation. So for me, turning was not fun last week, twisting. So I just want to see. I don't want to force it. And I don't want to go back. Well, 2 months ago, I was doing this. That's okay. That was 2 months ago. What's going on today? Right? Listen to your body for what is going on today. And I really, really feel like the more stress we have, because when we are stressed, we hold everything tight. If you notice when you're stressed, you might not breathe as deeply as you can. Or when you do breathe, you realize you haven't been breathing. You're like, oh my goodness, look at all this air coming out of me. All right, switch sides. I'm going to turn. You stay on your side. I'm just turning for the camera. And here we go. Reach open. So what I want is your chest rotating up to with the sky. Like I said, for me, I'm not going that far because my back said, no, not today. So we're only doing what it does. So I've said this to clients, to patients before, especially with the back. If we're trying to rotate, if you're turning, twisting, don't force it into a position it doesn't want to be in, okay? Our body talks to us for a reason. So let's say like this, rotation. If my body says, no, that's enough, I'm not going to try and keep going because, I think I should. No, I'm going to listen to my body and it says, stop right here. I don't hurt, but I feel tight. So don't go anymore. So it's really important that whenever you're getting back into fitness, restarting something, joining a challenge, you don't have to come out the gate at 100, at doing 100. You don't have to run a 40-yard dash on turf indoors without stretching. Don't do it. Okay, so listen, and then stop, especially the back, especially with rotations. I like to tell people, take it to where you feel your body will say stop. It will. And then you come out of it. And then the more you do it, you might feel like the next few times you go a little further. And that's okay. But you don't want to take it to your end range too early. That can cause problems too, okay? All right, so since we're in this position, let's work on these hips a little bit. You're gonna open up the leg. So I'm coming up just to show you, but I'm on my right knee, extending my left leg. I'm coming down. I wanna open up again to the leg, the side that's open. We're further opening and reaching up to that ceiling. And then we're going to come down, if you can, thread that needle down. Breathe in, look up, breathe out, come down. Breathe in, look up, and if this is too much for you, you're just here. Just hang out here. And maybe put your hand on your hip and rotate open. If reaching to the ceiling is too much, you're here. Just think about just being open in this position, okay? Reach open, breathe out, breathe in, and breathe out. Breathe in, and breathe out. One more in, and the stampede is on its way, and out. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I have boys, and apparently they don't know how to walk. And I remember when Mom used to get mad at us all the time, especially my brothers, like, because they would stampede everywhere. And I get it now. I do. It's all coming back to me. So, other side. So we're on the right side. My right side is open. Okay? Hands down. Reaching towards the right. Rotate open. Breathe in. Ooh, and breathe it out. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Again, in and out. In. Last one, breathe out. And then hang out here for a little bit. All right, good. Come down to your bottom. So, since we're here, we're going to get into these hips a little bit more. Now, I like to do it like this. My fingers are facing behind me. Some people say that that's too much on the wrist, so it's up to you. If you can, you have your hands facing forward, or to the side. Whatever it does, that it doesn't hurt your wrist, okay, or shoulders. But I just want you in this position, and we're gently moving these knees in and out, okay? We're just working, opening up these hips, nice and easy. If you can get down, you get down. If you cannot, don't worry about it, okay? Again, if this is your range of motion, this is your range of motion. If you can get all the way down, that's your range of motion without pain, that's fine. But you're not forcing it into these end ranges. You're not forcing your body into a position it can't do. Again, I'm leaning back, again, to protect my back. If by chance you're doing this and you're feeling something in your back, you're doing too much. So maybe you're tight in the hips, and so it's tugging on your back as you're trying to do that. Really, with anything in the lower legs, if you do, especially hip flexors, if you're hamstrings, if you're doing a stretch and you're feeling something above, maybe you feel the stretch your hamstring, but you're feeling something in your back, you're tugging on something. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but you want to be mindful. That's not the sensation you should have. So again, that's one of those listening to your body situations where let's back off, let's modify, let's figure out a better way to do this where it's not in my back. Okay, since we're here, let's get into that hip flexor. So I want you in half kneeling position. If this is too much, you can always use a rolled up towel or a pillow to protect your knee. Okay, and then you can be in this nice tall position. So this is what we're doing today. I'm not going crazy today, like I said. I'm backing off myself, so this won't be any type of deep mobility session today. We're just getting in and stretching, okay? So this is what it looks like. If you see, I'm here. Okay, I want to tuck my pelvis under and I want to come forward. I don't want to be here, like I'm not hanging out, but down here. Right? This is not a stretch. I'm not doing anything here, so I need you upright. If for some reason this is a hard thing to do, this is probably where you need to start. You need to pull in those abs and stay upright. So if you feel like you're always collapsing, it's your trunk, okay? I'm not talking about abs, I'm talking about deep core. Stay in. Pull the belly button in like you're getting into skinny jeans. You're getting into really tight jeans. Pull it in, okay? I want you to tuck your pelvis under. Get your booty in. Again, notice my booty's in. I'm not slouching. I'm just tucking, and then I'm going forward, and I'm hanging out. Now, you can use a hand if you want, just for some. You can use your thigh for some place to put your hands, but I'm not leaning into my thigh that's in front of me. I'm hanging out here. So we're going to hang out here for a little bit, for some time to get some opening and length through this hip flexor. Again, if it's too much, you back off. If you need more, you go in. If you are staying tucked, if you feel like you start poking out through your booty or low back, it's too much. Tuck. If you can't keep that tuck, it's too much. Hang out here maybe 20 more seconds. We're going to hold these long and slow today. I'm going to do 2 on each side. We'll back off, go back into it, see if we can get it a little deeper this next time. If not, it's fine. Here we are. 3, 2, 1. I want you to back off. You're on that same side, right? So regroup if you have to. If you feel like you're dumping, you're poking it out like this, bring it back in, okay? Feel like you're nice and solid. I want you to pull in through here. Pull in like you're getting into skinny jeans. Belly button to the spine. That's what I mean when I say pull in. Tuck the pelvis. Bring it in. Keep this. Move the whole thing forward. Okay? I'm looking forward because I'm looking at you, so it looks twisted. Here we are. So I feel it here. This is where I feel the stretch. It's a deep stretch from my hip flexor down Okay, it doesn't hurt my knee because I'm on a pillow. It shouldn't hurt your knee. So if it's hurting your knee, either you back off, either you're leaning on your kneecap, or you put something underneath you. Okay? So this is where you should feel the stretch, right through here, not into your back. If it's in your back, you need to back off, do that tuck, go back in it, and stop where your body says stop. If you cannot tuck, you stay here. This is where you're at, okay? So let's hang out a little bit longer. And breathe. So why do we need mobility? Why do we need flexibility? It's more than just working out, right? We need it for joint health. We need it to keep them moving well and the joints. So the hips, right? We just did that inner outer. Some of you might have felt like this is super easy. I'm just flipping and flopping. Others felt like I'm not going anywhere. The hip is a ball and socket joint. I'm turning around to do the other side. So now we're stretching out the left leg. If you had the right leg down, now my left leg is down. My right leg is up. I'm tucking. I'm drawing in. I'm leaning forward. I'm hanging out. So a lot of our joints, either they're biaxial, meaning forward and back, or they have this rotational component, like our shoulders, our hips. All right? The only way to keep those joints doing those same things is to move them. I'm not asking you to do this all day, but it's important. If you're somebody who is on the phone, works at a computer, more than likely you should be doing something with your hands. Open and close those hands, up and down with the wrist. Okay, we'll go through some wrist stretches at the end, but making sure those joints you use on a regular basis, our feet, our hips, everything, right? We're doing something, okay? You can take a break in the middle of your day and do a posture break, I call it. Just do a posture break. Do a check-in. Where's my head? Is it over here? If so, let's bring it back. Okay, back off a little bit. We'll go back into that side. You may notice one side is tighter than the other. Once again, it's okay. You do what your body says to do. This side, like for me, this side is moving, no problem. That right side and me haven't been friends for a long time, but I know that. So I'm not going to force it, but I am going to allow the left to do what it can do. So here, and again, the stretch is from deep here down into my thigh. Not my knee, not my back. So we want to stay mobile. The importance of joint mobility is to protect the joint. When the joints are mobile, when we use our body and let it go through these motions, it brings fluid, it's called synovial fluid, to the joint. It lubricates the joint to allow it to keep going. Think about a car. When you let a car sit, do you not have a hard time turning it on? It's hard because why? That oil got tight. It got stiff. It got hard because it's been cold, right? The oil is cold, so it doesn't move as well. But when does the oil move well? When you warm up your car. Some of us, if you live in those areas that are cold, you have to warm your car up first. Janita, you don't know nothing about this because you're in Florida. Probably never have to warm your car up because it stays warm, right? But when you're in the cold areas, you're in those places where you get winter. Okay, let's back off. You have to warm your car up depending on how long, 10, 15 minutes, making sure it's nice and warm, that oil is moving, or else you're going to mess up. You can mess up your car. So same thing. Okay, I want to do some hamstring a little different. If you have the pillow, I'd advise you to use it, especially if you're having any type of knee discomfort. You just don't like being on, kneeling on your knees. Let's do that. So let's go back to, I'm going to stretch the left leg out. My right knee is on that pillow, kicking out my left leg. And I'm sitting down. My hands on the outsides of the left on either side. And I'm just gently sitting down. Okay? If you can get down, that's fine. If you can't, you're up here. And you're just leaning over the leg that's long. So in my case, it's my left leg. My toe is pointing up towards me. I'm leaning over it. I'm not trying to touch the toe. I'm not trying to bring my chest down to the floor. I'm not trying to get all the way. That's not the point. The point is you're just leaning. See how nice and flat my back is? I'm not rounding here. I'm sticking my chest out, leaning over it. If you can then do that and come down, fine. If you cannot, don't worry about it. We're stretching the hamstring. Let's hang out. So that's why we want to keep up with our mobility, keep up with our flexibility. It keeps our joints supple. It keeps that fluid, that's a good synovial fluid, moving, circulation. If you're somebody who deals with swelling, lower leg swelling, edema, puffiness, even if it's not swelling, at the end of the day, your feet are just sore. You're like, they feel heavy. You got to move. Do some ankle circles. Do some ankle pumps. Get up and move in the middle of the day or multiple times a day to get the blood flowing back to your heart. That's what we need. We need circulation. So get it moving, get it moving, get it moving. So even at the least, let's switch legs. If you're still like, I can't get 30 minutes in. I don't know how any of y'all do that stuff. You can do 10 minutes. I think you have 10 minutes a day to do something. Okay? I saw a post the other day, and I've talked about this, but someone else wrote this. So let's go to the other leg. So I'm up here, high, I'm on my left knee. Toe is pointing towards me. Leg is long, and I'm leaning over this leg, and my hands on the outside, just as like a post. And I'm hanging out. I'm not trying to touch, like I said, I'm not trying to bring my chest to my leg. There's no point of that because I've already felt it. So why am I going any further? If I needed some, I can go down a little. But my body said, no, this is enough, so we're stopping. I'm not going anymore because I want to hold this for a good amount of time. So I don't need to go all the way down. As I'm holding it, if I feel like I need more of a stretch, I can go a little deeper, but I'm not doing that right now. I'm going off track. This is my squirrel moment. I had a patient the other day. She was so fun. She was coming because she had like her back fusion a while ago. Never went to therapy. She's got some like hip pain. Both hips are hurting. Neck, some other stuff. I was like, okay. So we're going through and I'm checking her stuff and she goes, I can still do the splits. I'm like, well, great, good for you. Like, I don't know why you would need to do the splits, but okay. No, and I'm not saying this for age, but she's like, yeah, I'm 61 and she's overweight. She's like, I can still do the splits. I'm like, she's like, but I'm in pain all day. And I'm like, yeah, because you need stability. And that's going to be something we talk about later. You need, as much as we need all this good mobility, we do need stability to protect the joints, right? So she's telling me she can do this, and her mobility was great. So I was like, okay, well, you're not stiff. You had a fusion in your back, which means to me you have some extra mobility. And you can still maintain a split at 61. That's pretty dope. So more than likely you need stability. Your body needs to be, it needs the strength holding everything together. You've got too much mobility, which is also a thing why some women get chronic pain, because their joints are so lax that they can just go into all these positions and motions, but it's too much because you're just hanging out on your ligaments. That's a story for another day. It's called hypermobility. All right. Okay, let's get out of these legs. I want you back up. We're going to go into wrist and hand. Actually, we'll sit. I'm going to sit on this cushion, wrist and hand, and then we're going to end with some breathing, and I'll answer any questions and get you out of here because it's already 9 o'clock. All right. If you can sit legs crossed, that's fine. If you can't, don't worry about it. If you need to be up, you can sit on a cushion. It'll kind of lift your ischial tuberosities, they're called, your little booty bones. Lifts them up so you can sit upright. Otherwise, I'm going to take this away. I mean, I can sit upright because I know how. But if you're somebody who sits like this and then you absolutely can't, you end up here and you try and you're like, I can't sit up. I don't know how anybody does this. Take this pillow or a towel roll. Get up there, put it on your booty. And there's bones there. Sit on your sits bones, they're called. Okay? And you're upright. Look at that. Fancy stuff. All right. Wrist. So I want palms open. Okay? Fingers wide. I need you down, up for 5. Slow. 4. If your fingers are going numb or tingly, I need to know. Or you need to stop. But then you need to tell me that they went on tingly or numb doing this. Okay? 3. They should not. So that's not a positive thing. So if you ever go numb or tingly while we're doing some of this stuff, you probably should DM me and be like, yo, remember when we did this stretch? this happens, what does that mean? Yeah, because those aren't good signs. Take the backs of the hands and put them together and push. I want your forearms up wide and you're pushing in. Nice job. Good stuff. And then rotate them open. So you're going from here to here. Hopefully you can see me pretty good. Open, okay? Then you're gonna make a prayer. Again, push. You're actually pushing your hands together in this prayer position. Have those fingers wide like we started. And I want you to push. This is something you can do in the middle of the day while you're sitting. If you're at work, when you're on the phone too much, get off the phone. Do this. Bring your head up. Okay? Shake them out. Good. Lastly, let's just open up the side. So one of my favorite stretches, QL, sitting. You're down. Hand slide it to one side. Lift up and over. Deep breath in. And blow it out. Hang out here, please. And just breathe. All right, come on back. Slide it and reach. All right. That's it. So, end of the movement. Couple things I want to talk about before I get off today. Thank you, YouTube. I'm out. So,